Well, now I have a day off. So instead of running trains, let's take you to the end of the layout that you haven't really seen. There's the airport runway right there, and that sits in here. This is really just the reversing loop. Originally, this was just a loop. There was nothing else up here, and a loop underneath and access to the fiddle yard. So this whole end of the layout was really off scene. But then I thought, well, why not scenic at least some of it? And so there was a bit of ply laying around. And so I put a runway in. Let's put it in. I'll show you what's going on. It's very dusty. We don't get down here much. Let's pop it in. I'm doing it with my left hand because I'm holding the camera with the right. Now, a couple of things. First of all, these are the threaded bar or nuts that set the inclines and the height of the deck. Bit of scenic here that runs off into the runway. Now, there's a fire truck somewhere. Where's it gone? Let me find it. Well, it was hiding down there by the mine, and you might see that it says on it Carlisle Airport. And since I used to live in Carlisle, this is Carlisle Airport, and the runway markings are the right runway markings. Of course, runways were longer than that. And somewhere there's some writing on this thing. Let me see if I can see it. I can't. But I worked out how long this runway was, and also worked out that at a push, a Spitfire could take off in that much runway. I simply don't have any more space for it. Now, it's funny the things that decide, isn't it? I was thinking more Manston. You might remember there was an article in one of the Railway Modeler magazines about Manston Airport. Now, when I was a policeman way back in Kent, Manston was on our patch. But Carlisle isn't anywhere near Manston, and they don't have a green goddess. It's a red goddess, isn't it? They don't have fire trucks with Manston on them, and so I'm quite happy to mix and match. And so Carlisle just got moved to Kent. Sorry, Carlisle. Kent's a nicer place. I didn't say that. Little airport. The model I found in a junk store, it was white. Not having white building. No. So it got an attempt at painting. It doesn't look bad at a distance, but it has to be at a distance. Now, some of you will know that I used to work much more in television. And there's me with my pot belly sitting in the director's chair. A bit of filming going on here. And there's the old TV truck I used to work in. So all of that has got it's mostly right now though, just stuff stuck there. So what are we going to do? Well, there's this area, but even more, you've got this round piece with just stuff. Oh, that's where that went. This is what we're going to need later. Let me put these where they're supposed to be. Those were the instructions for the traffic lights, which I was talking about earlier. Now then, level crossing, a couple of American buildings, they're coming off of there. And this round piece here is a lift out section. The idea is you can go under the board, pop that out, and you can get up, and so you can actually reach the back of the layout. There's no way on earth I'd be able to get back there. Thought about what to do. Can't really put hills and mountains there because you've got a runway, and so you need some space. Talked about the cricket ground at the other end. Here's a much better place for a cricket ground, really, isn't it? So we'll put a little street scene in here, I think. Cricket grounds are fairly straightforward. Let me show you what I have already. Now, there's always a story, and many moons ago, this came in the mail from the vicar. I had made an outstanding catch whilst playing on the church cricket team, and he knew that I was into toy trains, and so he sent me a cricket team. This is years and years and years ago, and there's all the players there, look, you see. And they need painting, and I've never been successful painting people. We're going to give it a try. Charlie from Chadwick is doing a little series on painting. I may have a look, see what he's up to. We've been in touch a couple of times, back and forth, usually on the electrical things. But he's going to be much better at this than I am. But guess what? I have a rather lovely sister, and she found out that Pico makes a cricket team that's already painted. So we are going to use these ones first. Now, somewhere along the line, we've picked up Scaledale Cricket Club. Well, we can't call it Scaledale. That's just silly. So we'll have to make another label for that. And I have a label machine. Got a couple of sight screens I've made. Not too fond of the lawnmower. Oh, that's what it... No, that's the roller. Is that the roller? What is that? That happens to be a piece of brass kicking around, but I'm going to chop that down and make it look like it fits in the lawnmower. Here's the roller over here, made of rather delicate. There's a scoreboard too. It has to be a scoreboard. A whole load of little seats. There's not two gentlemen with a beer, and there has to be two gentlemen with a beer. So we'll come up. We've got enough to be going on with here to make a cricket ground. Now, as I'm sure you've seen, I'm more into the scatter and paint, but that does not make a cricket ground. And so what we have here is somebody gave me, I don't remember who gave me this. It was left over from a project apparently, but there'll be enough flat grass, I'm sure, to make a cricket pitch. Now then, I was talking about a box of LEDs the other day. This is one of the boxes, but I thought you'd be interested in these. These are, well, the LEDs that come in this plastic thing. They're, you can see by my finger how tiny they are. You pop them out of this plastic thing, and then there's a little bit of metal on each end you can solder to whatever it is you're trying to solder to. And I could say good luck with that, couldn't I? But there is some foil sticky strip. It's got a copper surface on one side and glue on the other, and you can stick it down and then just solder these things in between. We'll give that a go at some point. There you go. This is what I'm talking about. This was when I got into DCC. This stuff came with the starter kit. Now, I've never used it because I don't, knowing electronics, I don't see any benefit from slapping tiny bits of copper underneath a board and soldering to it when you can use a piece of wire. Why would you do that? So there are places for this, and I think the place for that is inside buildings or where you just can't get wires. But that's my opinion. And my opinion is all right sometimes. Now, this little circuit board will chase diodes. So the first one comes on, then and runways generally don't have chasing lights down the middle of them. They sort of kind of do here in Atlanta, but this is just a tiny little regional airport. But for visual interest, for the casual viewers, they won't know, and what they don't know won't hurt them. And so long as I can live with it and smile sweetly to myself, these white lines are not painted, they're just cut up bits of strip. That one was coming unglued. The reason I did it that way is because I can't paint that well. Do you see? Yeah, they're bits of tape too. And then once it was in, I had to cut around it to be able to make it lift out. So we've got a little bit of airport stuff to do, a cricket pitch to do. Over in the back corner, I've thought about a castle because I like those funiculars or cableways or something. We can probably come up with something like that over there. There was never anything, well, there was a funicular in Kent. I think it was in Broadstairs. I think there was one there. Somewhere down there on the southeast coast. So maybe we can cheat and put one of those in. But that's for down the line, and pun intended. And the lift out section just sits there right now. It's not registered anywhere, so we're going to have to fix that too. A little bit of work to do. Let's see how we get on. Well, there you go. That's the push-up hatch pushed out. The upper and lower loops. The bottom one actually is not a reversing loop. The top one is, but the bottom one is not. It's just a circuit. This is the confusion, the incline that goes down there. Very proud of that, I will say. It was a very clever addition. That's the one that runs. So the reversing loop basically runs from here to there, but off of it runs that, and it just joins the two circuits together. Added a huge amount of operational interest. One of these days I'll explain the thinking, but not today. Today we're going to make a cricket pitch. Now I realise we're well over 10 minutes into this video, so I'm going to break this up into a couple of parts, and I'll see you tomorrow.